The books children read, the toys that they play with, the television shows they watch are all centered around car-based transport. Adding cycling infrastructure to a street for, a child to use is deemed too political for the Lego Corporation.
I really, really hope children and adult fans of Lego will build their city that they want with bike lanes and say, instead of why are there no bike lanes in Lego City, why are there no bike lanes in my city?
Hello everyone, my name is Chris Bruntlett and I am the Marketing and Communication Manager at the Dutch Cycling Embassy. I have the pleasure today of being in the city of Castricum in the Netherlands. It's a smaller city, a seaside resort of about 35,000 people, about 30 kilometers northwest of Amsterdam. And I am sitting in the dining room of one Marcel Steeman. Marcel, can you just introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Yes, hello, I'm Marcel Steeman. I am a regional councillor for Northern Holland. And as a job, I work at the Water Authority. And I think the reason Chris is here is because I had an initiative to add bike lanes to Lego City.
Yeah, this is, I think, a really fascinating story. And like many of these stories, it starts out with a very innocent inquiry from your son. Can you talk a little bit about how this started and where it took you?
It all started in 2015. My son, Doris, he had his 4th birthday. And for his 4th birthday, he asked Lego. As always, he still does. He is 10 now and he still plays a lot with Lego. But then he got a train station for his birthday. With the train station, there was also a little bike. And he also got the big classic road plates from Lego. The day after his birthday, we were playing with his Lego, putting everything together. And he was playing with his little bike and I was playing with him along. And we just noticed that there is a bike, there is a little bike rack, but there is no place for the bike on the road place to actually safely bike. It was just a small thing to notice. I guess it's because in Holland we are so used to have separate bike lanes and special places on the road for bikes to safely get around town. It actually stood out that there is no place in Lego for the bike to ride. So that was the first time I asked myself, where are the bike lanes in Lego City?
Growing up in the Netherlands and your son growing up in a Dutch city, cycle tracks are virtually everywhere. So it would be a really kind of a stark realization that there's something missing here.
Yeah, it was a stark realization. Exactly as you say, when you grow up in Holland and when your son grows up in Holland and we do probably everything by bike within our city and even in the surroundings. So it actually really stood out that the basic road plates from Lego back then, because they've changed right now, were grey and just a road for a car and nothing else.
Yeah. So what was the first step? What prompted you to take action in response to that realization?
Well, it was a very stark realization. I thought, well, this is something simple and maybe a bit stupid to notice, because Lego is a Danish company. Denmark is also a cycling country. Copenhagen and Utrecht always compete to be the best cycling city in the world every year. It just clicked like, why isn't there a bike lane in Lego? So I took to Photoshop, got a picture of my road plate, and I added a red bicycle path to it like they are in Holland. And I just tagged the Lego group in the picture, put it on Twitter, and with the question of where are the bike lanes in Lego City? Please Lego, make this happen. So that was just an innocent question. It took off a bit. Quite a lot of people coming to the same realization. There are bikes, but there are no bike lanes, and Lego City is a car-centered city. So it took off back then a little bit, but I got distracted. I always get distracted with things like that. It remained in my head, but I let it go for then.
Right, and I think this is happening at an interesting time, right? Because yes, the Netherlands has been building cycle tracks for decades, but other cities around the world, my hometown of Vancouver, Seattle, New York City, even Los Angeles, or Sydney, they're starting to build segregated cycle lanes on their streets. And so people are thinking about this as kind of the future of our cities, and Lego is still perhaps stuck in the 20th century in a city that's designed just to move cars.
That's more or less the message that resonated. It weren't the people playing with Lego that actually reacted to that first tweet. It were actually the bicycle advocates around the world. Like you say, there are lots of cities around the world, look at Paris, for example, that are now coming to the realization that when you give room to bicycles, when you make it safe for people to get on their bikes and get around town, they will actually do that, and they will actually come. You have to build for the town you want and not build for the town that is being used right now. That was actually the time when I realized that we are lucky in Holland to have a bicycle infrastructure like we have, and that there are around the world lots and lots of people very, very fanatically stimulating bike rides, and that's not as easy as it is in Holland to get around with your bike everywhere in the world.
Yeah. And I think it brings up another interesting point, is that the books children read, the toys that they play with, the television shows they watch are all centered around car-based transport. And if we are to create a new vision for our cities, we have to perhaps be more inclusive in terms of the mobility modes that are depicted and shown.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because it's been really a big story right now, because I started in 2015, we're now 2021. The toys you play with and the books you read is actually something that really stood out in this project, because when you go to the bookstore in Holland, you got the Miffy books, and well, there are actually some books with Miffy riding a bike, falling off her bike and then getting wounded, and etc. There are lots of children books with bikes. It's very standard to have bikes in their stories, but when you look at international books like Richard Scarry, standard books, it's all about cars, fire trucks, big vans, etc. And there are virtually no bikes represented in all the children books internationally. Right. I never realized that. And it's the same with toys, I guess, because when you can walk, you can also ride a bike here in Holland with the little side wheels, etc. So it's very logical for children as young as a couple of years to have a bike. I've just realized for a couple of months now that that's a really, really special thing for Holland, to have children play with bikes, read about bikes, be on a bike from a very young age on.
Yeah. So after that initial tweet, what was the next step in the process in terms of...
Well, the next step was actually not getting any reaction from the Lego group. It went really, really silent after my first tweet. But it stayed in my head, and I think I put it on Reddit a couple of years later, or a year later, and it took a bit off, but not exactly. But as I said, there were a lot of bike advocates that got the idea of something missing in Lego City. It's actually a funny idea, but it really sticks. On Twitter there was a fietsprofessor, Marco de Brummelstroet. He lectures mobility at the University of Amsterdam. I guess it was early 2019 that he took my tweet and tweeted about it. Like, well, please Lego, come to the 21st century. Where are the bike lanes in Lego City? That was the moment the idea actually really took off, because he's got a huge following, huge international following as well. And that got people to dig out their road plates from Lego, dig out their old road plates, noticing that on the old road plates from the 80s, there actually was a little bike lane, that road for the cars is getting bigger, and that the bike lanes were disappearing from the road plates from Lego. So somehow, early 2019, with that tweet, the story really took off and took its own meaning, I guess.
But my understanding is you still were getting pushback from Lego.
No reaction at all.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was a bit disappointing, because Lego was tagged in lots of tweets like that, because people were actually taking pictures of their little Lego bikes on their road plates, etc. as I said, digging out their old road plates, tagging Lego in them, asking Lego where are the bike lanes. No reaction at all from Lego. So I guess that was the time when I took my original Photoshop, which was scrutinized because it was not up to the real road standards everyone was expecting. And I was thinking, well, it's a plastic city. It doesn't have to be exactly right. It has to be playable. But people were complaining that the zebra crossing was not right. Priority wasn't right. That you cannot write it on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So you cannot play it with it in England. There was a lot of discussions about which color the bike lane has to be, because I thought, well, bike lanes are red, but in Denmark they are blue, and in Germany they are green, and well, that was really funny to read. I took my original Photoshop, made it up to standards, I guess, but afterwards they were scrutinizing my idea again. I tried to put it on Lego Ideas. That's a platform from Lego that is open to ideas from everyone in the Lego community, an actual very fanatic Lego community. So you can put your ideas there, propose them to Lego and to the community. When you've got 10,000 votes, then Lego will actually consider it to be an actual set. So I thought, well, when there's a platform to put forward ideas, I will take my idea and put it forward to Lego, and I will try to make it a real set. So I took the big base plate, added red bicycle lanes to them, and tried to put it on Lego Ideas. But my idea was rejected. I guess right away.
Yeah.
Without much explanation. So I thought, well, I might have done something wrong. There's actually 10 pages of terms and conditions you have to comply with.
Right.
So I thought, well, I might have done something wrong. So I've tweaked it a bit, put it forward again, was rejected again. I've tried to put it on Lego Ideas, I guess 5 times, 6 times, something like that. Was still, every time it was rejected, I didn't get really a good reason for it. And I guess one time I got a reason. It's a political statement.
Yeah.
I don't know who did that with Lego, but I hope that was a mistake, because it's not political at all.
Yeah.
It was rejected. I did not get my idea on Lego Ideas to be put to the general vote.
Yeah. And I think it's worth pausing to just reflect on that statement, that adding cycling infrastructure to a street for a child to use is deemed too political for the Lego Corporation.
Yeah, I still hope that was a mistake from the Lego Corporation. And Marco de Bruntlett said about it, well, not adding bicycle lanes to Lego City is also a political statement, because whether or not you add it, you choose either cars or something else in mobility. When you try to prevent bicycle lanes to get to Lego City, that's also a very, very political statement. Yeah. Choosing cars, well, I guess the old way of mobility.
Right. And to a Dutch person, that probably sounds weird, but I think to, again, an outsider, to an international audience, bikes have become very political, and it's almost a culture war that's taking place in our cities, and just the discussion about infrastructure has become this ideological battle between different sides, and it's unfortunate that it's reached that point.
I was totally oblivious to that cultural war you are calling it. That is something I've learned with my Lego project, that internationally there is actually people fanatically anti-bicycles, that they are not willing to share the road, that they think that when you park your bike on the street, it's somehow dangerous to your car or something, I don't know. As a Dutch person, to me, it's really surprising that people are actually angry, very, very angry at cyclists. Why? Yeah. Why would you want to do that?
Did you get any kind of interesting emails or Twitter messages?
No, the Twitter messages were probably mostly very positive and scrutinizing my designs. And the messages I received and I've seen about my project were just probably all surprised that there are no bike lanes in Lego City. When I look back at the project, even now, that we've reached the 10,000 votes. The times that people were actually negative were about 5 or 6 times, not very much.
Okay. We're spoiling the ending a little bit.
Yeah, it's well, yeah.
No, that's okay. So what is the timeline here now? When it was the first Lego ideas accepted by Lego and put out to the public?
What happened in 2019 was there's Lego Masters on television. First on England, I guess, I saw it. There's always a Brick Master with Lego Masters on television. And in England it was Matthew Ashton. Very fun guy, he's absolutely bonkers about Lego. And he's the head design manager from Lego. I think it's a great guy, and he did a Q&A on Twitter during Lego Masters England. So with my Lego idea in mind, the first thing I had to ask to him was, where are the bike lanes in Lego City? And I actually got a reply from him, a bit ominous. You have to wait, there is something changing in Lego City. So I thought, well, that doesn't say anything. But Lego community is very fanatic about everything that changes, so I'll just wait and let it go a bit. At the end of 2019, there were sets leaked to Lego blogs with new road plates. And I thought, well, there are new road plates, but that's actually a very, very big story in Lego, because there are people playing with the big road plates for probably 30 years right now. So if they've built in their attics whole cities around those big road plates. So when Lego says we won't make those road plates anymore, we will make new road plates, smaller ones, thicker ones, modular ones, so you can build your own street. That was actually very, very big news. And I thought, wow, there actually is something going to change. Modular streets, so that makes everything possible. You don't have to be restricted to the road plate 32 by 32, so there's more room for everyone on the road in Lego. So I was really, really excited about that. And then the sets were actually released, and there is a road set, grey road with a car on it, no bike lanes. So very disappointed. So there is one small set, actually now released, I guess, in 2021. One small set is a shopping street. It's quite an expensive set. And there is a little blue bike lane on that set. And there is a little bike shop, and there is a cargo bike. And I saw that set and I thought, wow, they might have listened a bit. They might have noticed my campaign right now, because the tweet from Marco really had took over by then. There is a small bike lane, but the cargo bike in that set is wider than the bike lane. It's 2 studs wide. It's a very, very small bike lane. The moment when I saw that set, when I thought, well, now there is a new modular system, there is a little bike lane. They have listened to me. I will claim that victory, but this is not enough. This is the moment when we have to really push through and say to Lego, well, you've tried, this is not it.
Was that the one with the van parked in the
that's well. I've got the box in my attic right now. When you look at the box, there is a cargo bike with its tires on the left and the right side of the bike lane, so it doesn't fit at all. And there is a van parked on the bike lane. There's, I guess, how do you say hekje?
A fence?
A little fence on the bike lane as well.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a bit like in real life when you really want a bike lane and your municipality says, well, here is a bike lane, don't complain anymore. This is it. We've added something, we've painted a bike on the road, so this is your bike lane, don't complain anymore.
Yeah, and it's better than nothing. Right?
It's better than nothing, and please take your car, and there's all room for cars, but there is also a little bike. So now you're happy.
Right. And I think the timing of this is really interesting, because you're saying you're getting into 2020. You refer to this as a COVID project.
Yeah.
The pandemic hits in March of 2020, and everything changes.
Everything changes. I changed jobs right then at the start of at the start of the pandemic, and we had to work at home, and the children were home, and we've created a workspace in the attic where my son's Lego is. So there's loads of Lego there, and our workplace. So we are literally between Lego every day, and my son, when he's done his homework and his homeschooling, he is playing with his Lego to the annoyance of lots of my colleagues because it makes noise. With Lego, there is this little bike lane in one set. There is a new road plate, so I took to digital Lego. There's a really great program from Lego itself. It's called Brick Studio, where you can just build anything with any piece you want. And I created a little bike lane from the new road plates. I've downloaded the design from the road plates from a German blog because they weren't even available back then digitally. So I've created a little bike lane. I was playing with my son during lunch when it was raining and there was no chance for a little walk. And we've created bike racks, and we've created little bikes with crates, and we've created our own cargo bikes, everything. So we were just playing with these bikes and created a little set from it. So I've made a minifigure with a bicycle pump and a repair set, someone with a child seat and a little baby on the back of his bike. I digitally created a little set with a bike lane, especially a bike lane that exactly fits on the new road plate system, that is made of the new molds for the new road plate. So I thought, well, I will give it a shot. Maybe this time Lego Ideas will accept my new idea, because I think one of the reasons they didn't accept my prior idea is because they were then already planning to phase out the big road plates. So that might have been also a reason why my prior idea was rejected at Lego Ideas, because they weren't putting through those big road plates. So I put it on Lego Ideas, expecting to be rejected again. And I got an email straight away. Thank you for your submission. We will now review your submission to see if it's open for votes and it according to our guidelines. But you have to be patient because, due to COVID and everyone playing at home with their bricks, there are so many ideas that, it might take a week or two to actually review your idea. So I thought, okay, I'm patient. I've been working on this project for a couple of years now, so I'll be patient. So I went to bed, and the next morning, early in the morning, it already was open for votes. Wow. It was accepted, and I was, that's really fast. I was really surprised that it was actually open for votes. I could see it on the website from Lego Ideas, and I thought, now I'm really going to spam everyone I've met over the years over this project. And now this has to happen. So that was the moment when I thought, this must be it.
Your persistence pays off finally.
Yeah. It was not only my persistence. It was all. I really met up to then. I really met a lot of people fanatic about Lego, fanatic about bicycles. I have to give credits to Marco de Bruntlett at this moment, because he really. He sent me a message one time. Every time I say something about Lego, I've got a viral tweet. So he was happy to help with that, and he also wrote a book about mobility with Talia Avocada. They won a prize last week for that book, and there's also a chapter about Lego in that book. So they really helped to put the message forward even before Lego Ideas accepted that idea.
And what I think is really interesting is, again, this is the early stages of the pandemic. There's a bike boom in cities around the world. Yeah. Bike shops are selling out. Cities are scrambling to build bike lanes. Over 2,000 kilometers of cycle tracks in Europe alone. And this is happening in parallel to that. So suddenly cities are scrambling to build all this infrastructure, and you're pushing to get it on the Lego set?
Timing was exactly right because, as you say, in the pandemic, everyone took to their bicycles. There were worldwide initiatives: repair your bike, get on the bike, just to have people maintain their distance. And there are new road plate system in Lego, so the timing it all came together like that. We were on our attic between the Lego. There's new road plates. There's a worldwide bicycle boom. So it all came together. I guess.
So you have 2 years to get 10,000 votes, is it?
It's somewhat more than 2 years to get to 10,000 votes. It's in steps. So you've got, I guess, 3 months to get to the first 1,000 votes or 100. Well, I really don't know because it went so fast. I didn't really know that. I don't really know the deadlines anymore. But you have to take some hurdles to get to 10,000 votes. But when you don't have enough votes, your idea is scrapped from the Lego idea side.
So how long did it actually take to get to the 10,000 votes then?
The voting campaign really took off immediately. So in the end, to get to 10,000 votes, we didn't take 2 years, but somewhat more than 3 months. And that was mainly because of all the attention the idea got, because one of the first weeks there was already quite a big article on the American website The Verge. They wrote an article in 2019 about my failing action to get bike lanes in Lego City. So now the idea is open. They redid that with the call to action to vote for bike lanes in Lego City. So that helped a lot. It just went around. I've been on local radio, local television, international blogs. It went crazy about the idea during the campaign to get to 10,000 votes. So it really took off, and it was way faster than I expected to get to 10,000 votes.
And just to be clear, just because it has received 10,000 votes, it's not guaranteed to happen. There is now a process of...
And it's very secretive as well, so I really don't know what to expect right now. But when you get to 10,000 votes, they periodically take all the ideas that get to 10,000 votes, I guess once half a year, something like that. They put them together, and then that set of ideas goes to the review phase, and then that's where it is right now. It's a black box with the design team of Lego, and they will take the idea, see if it's anything copyright that has to be taken care of, that it's actually buildable, that it's actually playable, that it's internationally playable, that it's not too expensive for Lego to make. They just will review it to make it an actual set or not. I've got good hopes that this will be a set, but up till now there are 30 or 35 sets that are actually being made from Lego ideas. And there are hundreds of sets that actually have made the threshold of 10,000 votes. So I don't know what to expect right now, but one thing that really stood out was that we got to the threshold of 10,000 votes on Sunday evening. So there was a big party, and there was lots of media attention, and there were TV crews in my house, etc. But the next day, I received an email from Lego. Congratulations, your set is now in review phase. And I thought, well, that's wrong, because I just made it to 10,000 votes. I have to be patient to get it into review phase. But they closed the review phase one day after we reached 10,000 votes. And I hope that is not a coincidence. I just really hope that's not a coincidence.
Right. And I guess if this was happening anywhere else in the world, there may be reason for concern. But the fact that this is a Danish company, probably most of those designers are going into a meeting room having cycled to the office on segregated cycle tracks. are now debating whether to build these cycle tracks into their sets.
Yeah,
must give you reason to be hopeful.
I'm really hopeful, and I've been on Google Street View while designing my set to look around the head offices of Lego in Billund in Denmark, and there are blue cycle lanes around Lego headquarters in Billund in Denmark. So it's exactly as you say. Well, I've learned to know some of the Lego designers during this whole project as well. And there are Lego designers biking every day to their work, I guess. I would be surprised if Lego doesn't do anything with this idea. Might not be an actual set from Lego Ideas that is credited to me, but when they just add bike lanes like in my set to their Lego City sets, that will be the huge win from this project.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they will put out a real set with my name on it, like the Lego Ideas sets. But this idea is not comparable to the other sets they have put out from the Lego Ideas platform, because they're all big sets like a typewriter, a big piano. They all cost hundreds of euros, with lots and lots of pieces, lots of intricate designs, etc., etc. They are beautiful, beautiful. And then you've got my bike lanes, which is just blue bike lanes with a bike with a crate and a bike with a child seat and someone with a pump. It's less than 120 pieces, and I've calculated a bit. It must be around 16, 17 euros when you put it in the shop. It's not comparable at all from the sets they've put out from Lego Ideas. They are all hundreds of euros, intricate designs, etc. So
yeah,
I don't know what they will do.
It feels inevitable, but I guess there have been some past hints from the Lego Corporation that maybe they're not willing to do this, but I guess we'll see.
I just hope they will incorporate those in their normal sets. So when you go to the shop, you can choose either a road plate for a car or a road plate for a bicycle and sidewalks and etc. So you can build whatever you want. Yeah. Because that's the whole idea from their new road plate sets, is that you can build anything. It's been the motto from Lego for years and years. You can build everything you want. Just let your fantasy loose. You can build what you think about in every color you like, in every way you like. So it all comes together, and also the sustainability message that Lego puts out right now. They've got windmills. They've got electrical companies right now instead of oil companies. So I guess the time is right for Lego to just embrace this idea and put it out in their sets, and I don't care in what way. It would be fun when they actually put out a set from Lego Ideas, but I really don't care in what way they will incorporate this idea, but they have to. I will get really angry when they don't.
Well, no, and as you pointed out, is this giant contradiction. You can build anything you want. You can make your city look any way, except the street has to be monofunctional for moving cars. And
it's really like that. There are lots of cars. They've now got different bike frames as well. So I guess they are steadily growing to incorporate bikes in their designs.
Yeah.
But when you go to the shop right now, it's all cars and car-centered and what you say, monofunctional road plates.
Yeah. Okay, I just have one more question, and I think you've hinted at it throughout our conversation. Is this 5-year process of getting Lego on bike lanes on the map at Lego has been a bit of an awakening for you as a Dutch person. You were perhaps previously blind to the amazing cycling culture here and the infrastructure that makes it possible. Can you talk a bit about that process and what that awakening was like?
Yeah, well, I've been into mobility during that process as well, because in 2015 I was a local councillor here in the city of Castricum. Then in 2016 I became an alderman with mobility as one of my things to do here in Castricum as well. And then in 2019 I became a regional councillor for the province of Northern Holland with also mobility. I'm a spokesperson for mobility. So that's the thing. Throughout this project, I've got 3 separate roles in politics, all 3 about mobility. And with the Lego project and the realization that it's the bike infrastructure in Holland is really special when you compare it to countries, even countries around Holland, because when you see a heat map from Strava or a heat map from where are bike lanes in the world, there's always a big red dot around Holland, and everywhere else there are no bike lanes like in Holland. And that realization and the fact that you have to really be an advocate for bikes to get bike lanes and bike infrastructure in different countries around the world, and the fact that it's not as simple as it sounds, like it's made in Holland. That realization came throughout the years, and it's just because of all the people internationally reacting to the idea, being surprised about the fact that there are no bike lanes in Lego, being surprised about bicycle infrastructure in Holland, talking about bicycle infrastructure because of the Lego idea. The big realization from the whole story is that in your decision making in real life, as well as in Lego, when you give room for bicycles, people will use the bike lanes. People will take their bike instead of their car. So there's this idea that you can influence people's behaviors just by making good infrastructure. And that realization I didn't have before. And that's a big realization. I guess it's the same in real life as in the play world of Lego. When you add bike lanes to Lego, people will play with it, and people will use them, and people will make their fantasy cities biking safe cities. And then what I really hope is when that happens, that children and adult fans of Lego will build their city that they want with bike lanes, with safe bike lanes, etc. And then look around them in their surroundings and say, well, instead of why are there no bike lanes in Lego City, why are there no bike lanes in my city?
I think that's the perfect point to end our conversation. Thank you so much, Marcel, for inviting me into your home and sharing your story. It was an absolute pleasure.
It was an absolute pleasure on my side as well. So thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Bike Talk. If you want to hear more, go to kpfk.org, navigate to programs, and choose Bike Talk. On the Bike Talk page, click on the archives link to play or download shows posted in the last 4 months. Go to biketalk.com and copy or click on the RSS link to subscribe. Our Twitter handle is BikeTalkPFK. On Facebook, we are Bike Talk. You can become friends and join our group.